Hi, everyone, and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot. For those of you who are new, my name is Chanel. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read for all of you again. So this is a collective reading for anyone who is in a situationship. For those of you who are not familiar with the term situationship, it's just a relationship that's kind of undefined. It can be on and off. You don't need to be speaking to this person at this time. I think the best way to gauge kind of like whether or not this reading will resonate or apply to you is to just think, if you had an opportunity to date someone new, would you stop to consider this person's feelings first? You get what I mean? All right, so I'm just going to pull some oracle cards from my Divine Resolution Tarot Relationship Oracle, and I use that often on this channel. I think I'm going to have it available for pre-order starting next month. So just stay tuned and I will release more details about that as we go. All right. So looking into your spread. Wow. The bottom of your deck is the Devil. So I guess we should talk about that first, right? Somebody has issues around being codependent. Someone has issues around dealing with this water sign. Now, I don't know if you are a water sign because this is a collective reading, but I don't particularly feel like this is your energy because this person is coming out in the reverse. I feel like my viewers are not the type to get incredibly jealous or be toxic, right? Because we're all here to work on ourselves. But there is this energy of toxicity in this connection. And I feel like part of it has to do with this Queen of Cups in the reverse. Now, this can be an extra influence in this situation. For some of you, you are dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Sometimes this can also talk about air for ones, depending on your deck. So Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This person, it's like no matter what they do or who they're with, there's this Queen of Cups reversed that seems to be blocking everything. So I'm seeing some energy here that's showing me there's the possibility of like an ex that's very prevalent in this person's life. This could be someone that they have children with. This could be someone that perhaps they just spent a long time with or grew up with. There's something here where it's like, no matter what this person does or what they want with anyone else, this is a huge roadblock. This is someone that it almost feels like this person is in a relationship with whoever this is, right? And I don't feel like when I'm looking at the cards, I'm seeing anything here that's showing me that they are, but that's almost the energy of it, is like you are an afterthought, or you've always kind of felt like the third energy between whatever this person has going on with this other past energy that's very much still a part of their life, very much still a part of their future. If this person is not physically present, then I feel like your person has an attitude of always reflecting on the past, allowing the relationship they had with this person to dictate how they treat you. So perhaps they brought a lot of baggage into the relationship that you had with them. It's almost like making you pay for mistakes that you didn't make, right? So I feel like that's really the difficulty here with this Devil energy. It's not coming as much from you or even your person. It's like their connection to whatever this situation is. This could be someone who is financially dependent on your person, right? And maybe they pay a ton of child support. This could be someone who every time something goes wrong in their life, they turn to your person, and that takes the person you're dealing with away from you, right? It's almost like there's two situations going on, but I feel as though with your energy, you are much more independent. You don't have maybe the issues that this Queen of Cups in the reverse has, right? This person, maybe they're an addict. And so your person feels obligated to do what they can to help out. I don't know. For each of you, it's going to be something different, but I feel like the main issue around this situation has to do with this Queen of Cups reverse Devil Nine of Pentacles reverse energy. This person is tied to something else somewhere else, right? For you, I feel like you have kind of gotten into a place where you are beginning to think this is not going to change. This is just how it'll always be. If I keep allowing this person into my life, I'm building something by myself, right? Because there's that energy here of whoever you're dealing with, they're not in a space where they can commit. It's almost like they could have an addiction as well, right? That could be part of that devil energy. But there's something about this where this person is like dependent, codependent energetically on coming to this person's rescue, whoever this Queen of Cups in the reverse is. And I feel like this is someone who acts out, right? Maybe you're doing good with your person. Maybe things are going well. And then all of a sudden, whoever this third energy is has some kind of life crisis, some kind of problem that they need to suck whoever you're dealing with back in. And I feel like you don't want to keep trying to control the situation, right? I feel like there was a time when you were much more apt to fight for this, to express how you felt. You know, you could have given ultimatums. You could have let this person you're dealing with know that this is unacceptable, right? That you don't want to wait around for them to figure it out. I feel like whoever this Queen of Cups is, this is someone that it should be a no-brainer, right? Why do you still deal with this person when they've betrayed you? They've done unforgivable things, right? They took your kindness for granted. So for you, it's just frustrating because your person that you're dealing with, it feels like they operate out of like guilt, you know? So I don't know if you guys were having an affair. And now this person just feels so guilty about it that it's like they can't let whoever this is go, even though the relationship is over. There's something here where your person feels so energetically tied to someone else that this hasn't been able to get into a state of commitment. This hasn't been able to become a relationship, right? Because they're just not even available. Now, as I'm looking into your energy, you got the Moon, the Empress reversed, the Four of Swords, reunion reversed, the future reversed, freedom reversed. So you've come to the conclusion that this person's probably not going to change. They're just going to be who they are. There's not a whole lot you can do about the situation. It's almost like you are absolving this person of their behavior, because I feel like at one time you had an expectation that this would get fixed, that they would figure it out. Now it's more like they're going to be who they are. They're going to do what they do. All I can do is not gaslight myself, right? So you're kind of in a space at this time where you're confused, because I know that the love is still here, but there's just so many unknowns. I feel like you're not viewing this the same. There was a time when you felt like this was who you were supposed to be with. Now it looks like for some of you, you're viewing this as more of a lesson, or you're feeling like, even though you feel that pull to whoever this is, you would be like downgrading the relationship you have with yourself if you gave to this, right? I think you miss this person. I don't particularly feel like you're speaking often. I feel like if you were to talk to this person, you probably keep it super light or not do a whole lot of talking, right? Maybe you listen, or maybe you leave them on red at this time, because this situation, when I'm looking at what's been created in this relationship up to this point, you've got Three of Pentacles, gifts reversed. So you've completely stopped trying to build anything with this person. You're actually in a state of like being very protective of your energy, pulling back and trying to recoup everything that you feel like you lost. You're not waiting on this person anymore to figure it out. Some of you have actually started therapy because of this situation, looking very similar to other situations you've been in. Or perhaps you stayed in this situation for so long that it was like, what do I need to fix about myself? Why was I attracted to this, right? When I saw this from the get-go and I knew what it was. But there was a hope here, right? you felt this really deep connection to this person. And so it's natural and it's normal to want to stick it out, to try to hope that the situation will get better. You know, the more time you put into it, maybe they'll see the value of the connection. So don't be hard on yourself, right? Because for some of you, you're really just thinking about like, why didn't I pull back from this sooner? Why didn't I end this sooner? All this time has passed. For some of you, it could be years, right? And you've continued to let this person come back into your life. It looks like, even if they didn't change, because I do see this person as sorry. I see that this person wishes that things were different, and maybe they expressed that to you in the past. So this was something that you had invested so much in that it's like, okay, well, they seem cognizant of how this is affecting me. Maybe we could try this again. But then everything stays the same, right? So for you, I think you've been doing a lot of self-care at this time. You're not in a rush to be in this person's space. You know, all of your cards are talking about you viewing this relationship or situationship as something that would actually feel like you're putting your life on hold for nothing. You're not planning your future with this person anymore, whereas in the past, I feel like you looked at whoever this is like you were in a relationship, right? You wanted this person to acknowledge all of the effort that you've put into building something with them, to give you the title, the same kind of priority and attention that it feels like they've been giving whoever this Queen of Cups in the reverse is. And that person doesn't need to be a water sign. It can quite literally be somebody who's just very emotionally unstable, right? And for whatever reason, this King of Wands feels the urge to be very protective of whoever this is, but they're sabotaging everything that they could have, right? It's almost like they even put this person over their own well-being. So let's take a look at your partner's energy, because for you, it's almost like you just kind of gave it to God. You know, you're sitting in it. You're like, it's confusing. I don't understand what the point of any of this was. But all I do know is that I have to take care of myself, right? There's not an energy of like cutting this person out of your life, but there isn't an energy of you making any action to progress the situation at this time. Now, as I'm looking at your person, they've been doing a lot of reflecting. It feels like there's things that have changed with them, but you may not be aware of that. Or if you're starting to kind of notice that this person is making different choices, you aren't allowing that to change your perspective on the situation as a whole or change how you feel about this person at this time. But I feel for some of you, if you are in touch with this energy, you're noticing that they're moving a little bit different, right? Because of this moon card. There's something about their behavior, whether they're being a little more possessive, a little more flirtatious. Perhaps you notice that they're not as compromising with this third energy. Maybe you're not hearing them bring that person up as much, right? Or maybe they're just doing something different as far as like their social media feed, you know, because I don't feel like there's a whole lot of conversation. So if you're friends with this person on social media, maybe you're seeing they're starting to post different, right? There's something about this energy that I feel like they're trying to work on themselves, you know? So if you've pulled back and maybe you've expressed this person, I just need space, right? I need to work on me, because that's what it looks like, is that you gave up on this, but you didn't cut the cord. You just were like quiet, or you went distant, right? So I feel like in your absence, this person is curious as to what you've been up to. I think at first they thought that there was someone else that perhaps you were interested in, and that triggered them, right? But as time went on, they may have gotten more information from you. So it looks like maybe you guys have been separated for a little while here, or just, not communicating like you used to, right? As time went on, this person actually realized that it wasn't that you were talking to other people. It really was that you just wanted to be on your own and process what this relationship has done to you, right? What to do next. And so I think that that's changing the way they're perceiving the situation. Because at first they felt like someone stole you away. And maybe that's what they're used to dealing with, because Queen of Cups in the reverse is somebody who plays a lot of games. They like to manipulate people emotionally, right? Take their love away, take their attention away, flirt with, other people's friends to make them jealous. Like Queen of Cups in the reverse is somebody who they're just kind of a gross person. Like I don't like dealing with any Cups card in the reverse because they mess up your emotions, right? They trigger old wounds and they do it out of spite. They do it out of fear. It's their way to control, right? So I feel like that's what your person is used to. And that was kind of what they assumed you were doing when you pulled back. Now that it feels like perhaps there's a little more conversation, they're starting to see that you really were working on yourself. And for some reason, that does something to your partner, because it's almost like they're starting to realize how much the relationship meant to you. Now, I don't know why they would not know that. Perhaps you didn't talk to them as much about how you felt. Maybe you kept your feelings hidden. Maybe this came across as something that was just like sex-based or just convenient. And so this person didn't seem to understand the magnitude of your feelings. And so when you pulled back, they were just like, oh, okay, they're going to do something else, whatever. They found something better. But they're starting to realize that you were taking time to heal. So if you had to heal, then that means you got hurt. If you got hurt, that means you cared. And this person is like trying to understand the relationship that the two of you shared, but from a different perspective, right? Because I think for some reason, it's almost like I see that this person took you for granted, but I also feel like they just didn't understand how much you really cared or how much they really meant to you. And so they treated this like it was something that didn't matter in a lot of ways, right? Whereas now that they're seeing like, okay, you pulled back, you're trying to heal, you're taking this like we broke up, like this is a real relationship. I feel like whoever you're dealing with went out and they were with other people while you were taking the time to heal. And I don't know if you know that or not, but this is someone who really needs attention. So again, with that codependent energy, like they have to be getting attention from somewhere, even if it's negative attention, right? You might notice things are going really good with the two of you, and then this person will do something to upset you. And you're just thinking like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? Right? This person needs like the maximum amount of energy. And I think for some of you with the cards I'm seeing over here, you've wondered, is this person a narcissist? Are they an energy vampire? Like, what is their problem? Right? So this energy treated you pulling away like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're on a break or the party's over for now, whatever. And they went off and they did other stuff with other people. And there was a hope in doing that you would become jealous, right? That you would want to play the game, the chase game, but you didn't. You stayed right where you were because your priorities, I feel like your priorities were always the same. You wanted love. You wanted something solid. But the timing of this was all really weird, right? Maybe you didn't realize you wanted a relationship until you were dealing with this this person over here, because I don't feel as though you changed or that your energy changed. I just feel like the way perhaps this all started, because it seems like it started in such a casual way, the parameters were not set. It wasn't like, okay, we're working towards something together. It was like, whoa, this just happened. Now what do we do? Right? And whoever this is, they weren't in a place where they were ready to be in a relationship. So they never considered what you guys had as a relationship. Right? And I think if you would have either chased after this person when they went off and did something else, it would have solidified kind of that cat and mouse situationship dynamic. Or I think if you would have left them for someone else, it would have in their mind been like, yeah, this was just a thing to do, right? This was that one night stand that never ends. We just hit each other up, whatever. No title. But because you didn't do that, right? Because you actually treated this like it was something important to you. You know, you took the time to heal. It looks like you've probably been just on your own or single since you were always technically single in this situation, but you weren't in a rush to go out and replace this, right? And I feel like because of that, that's actually shown this person how much it meant to you, how much this meant like as a relationship. And it's changing the way that they're viewing you. It's changing the way that they're viewing themselves. They're starting to realize almost like a lot of what they assumed about you as a person was their own projection, right? And that kind of goes back to that double energy that I saw when I was saying that they brought a lot of baggage into what the two of you shared. And so I feel like this person is realizing that they've made a lot of assumptions about you, about why you move the way you do, about how much you care or what you want. And in doing what you've done, even if it feels like you didn't do anything at all, you've actually shifted the way that this person perceives you, right? You've elevated yourself in a way that it's almost like they're comparing what they brought to the table versus what you were bringing. They're looking at where they are in their life as far as the relationship they have with themselves versus the relationship you have with yourself. This person went off and tried to kind of find your replacement initially because that's what they assumed you were in the process of doing when you pulled back. And they're realizing that there isn't going to be somebody that can take your place, right? So it's interesting to me because I feel like at one time you were doing a lot, right? Maybe you were expressing your needs. You were perhaps giving ultimatums, or you were, very attached to the outcome of this. And it's almost like when you detached from the outcome, when you stop trying to control the relationship, right? And I'm not saying it like you're controlling. It is good to want to know where things are going. It is good to be like, hey, I have a vision for my future. Are you going to be there? Right? But it's like when you stopped, when you gave up, because that's how this person is viewing this, like you gave up, that actually gave them the time to be able to reflect on how much you did do. Right? And so that's really smart, because oftentimes when you're pushing Newton's third law, right, talks about for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction, right? So you were trying very hard to show this person how much you care and why you would be the obvious choice. And in doing that, that actually pushed this person further away from you and closer to what you didn't want, which is kind of that Queen of Cups in the reverse, right? When you pull away from that person, now they have time to meet you halfway, right? Because you're not overextending yourself You're not doing more than your share. You're not even doing your share, right? You're actually pulling back because you don't see the value in investing in this anymore. You feel like everything that pertains to this energy is just kind of smoke and mirrors, right? It's like they sell dreams. And so now that you're not interested in putting any effort into this, that's when this epiphany happens of like, wow, you know what? They're not compromising with me anymore. You know, I don't know what they're doing. They don't report to me. They don't ask me where I am. They don't seem to care about anything at all. And you'd be surprised to find that in you doing that, it's actually affecting every area of this person's life, right? And it's kind of that old adage of you don't know what you have until it's gone. They're realizing that all the confidence they felt like they had, where they could just get anybody, they could just replace you, you know, they were running the show. Well, now that you're not paying attention, it's not only not fun, right? It doesn't matter who's paying attention to me if you're not. You're the only person that I really wanted to have looking at me, right? But they're also realizing the only reason they had that confidence at all is because of the love that you gave them, right? Because it's like without you, this person is looking at themselves and they're having to really face a lot of their demons on their own. And there isn't someone there to love them through it. And it isn't someone there to make them feel better in spite of, right? They're just by themselves. With this 5 of Wands reversed, I feel like whoever this person has tried to deal with, they leave. You know, they look at this person, they see them for who they are and what they are, and they leave. You know, it doesn't last probably more than like 4 dates, right? So it's interesting because you're in this moon energy as far as this situation goes, but your eyes are wide open. You're willing to look at this. You're willing to search your soul to find any parts of you that are unhealed, right? And you're willing to face that head on. This person is now starting to move into where you were maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3, right? Because they're coming to the understanding that you're not going to give to them anymore. You're not coming back, right? So it's kind of interesting that this, for all intents and purposes, looks over, right? As I'm reading these cards, there's no movement on your side, and they're realizing that nothing is going to happen here. And I think that when you realize that nothing was going to happen with them, that was the catalyst for you to withdraw your energy from everything and to go within and to really do a lot of shadow work and try to heal. And now that they're realizing that not only is nothing going to happen with you, but that nobody else out here wants them either, or nobody else compares to you, the sun is setting for them, right? And they're on their way into their dark night of the soul. So what I'm seeing here, we're kind of finishing up with this 6 of Pentacles, and you're in 4 of Swords. So you're doing nothing and they're doing everything, right? It doesn't feel like that. But if you look at the situation, maybe this person isn't showing up at your house with like roses or, you know, food or whatever. But in your conversations, who initiates them, right? How quickly do you reply? How quickly do they reply? What is the conversation about? Are they being more thoughtful? Are they being more communicative, right? For you, this has created a situation where you feel like you need to protect your energy, and giving to this leaves you in a deficit. For this person, though, this is creating a situation where they're starting to realize that they lost a blessing and that they can't keep moving the way that they've been moving, right? Because you don't want any part of it. You're not willing to bend anymore. And so what I like about this is that even though for you, you're kind of giving up and you're feeling like you need to withdraw, even if they're showing you something a little bit different. For them, they're realizing that they can't keep holding on to whoever this Queen of Cups represents for your situation, right? And it doesn't have to be a female. It can be a male just as easily, right? So they're starting to realize that they can't build with the 3. They're not available to give to you what you've been giving to them. But it wasn't until you took that away and they saw that that was really something that you wanted them to have. It wasn't something you do for everybody. You know, it wasn't just a casual encounter and you were just having a good time. You really wanted them, right? It wasn't until they started understanding that and understanding that what they lost out on, that now they're starting to realize they played themselves, right? So there is a shift happening. There is a change coming in regards to this connection. I'm going to take a look in the extended reading as to what that is. I'm also going to look at this person and how they feel. Wow, see, I cut the deck and there's the X and there's twin flame, right? So very interesting. But what I'm seeing here is after the X, you got family, addictions, liaisons. So they're realizing that the X is the addiction. So for some of you, this is a twin flame connection, right? And that would make a lot of sense as to why you've stayed for so long, why you're an Empress in the reverse, because that is our divine feminine energy. So I'm going to take this over to the extended reading. I'm going to look at a couple of things. I'll pull 10 cards. I'm going to find out what this person feels for you, right? That perhaps you're not aware of, and what they want out of this connection. I'm going to take a look at how they think you're feeling about them, right? And what they think you want, because that will play a role in their behavior, right? If they think that you're done, maybe they'll fight harder. Maybe they'll walk away. We'll have to see. I'm also going to take a look at what they're not telling you and why they're keeping that from you, as well as what their future actions will be and what this will create for the relationship and how that will affect you, right? We'll pull some advice cards as well for you as far as what Spirit wants you to be aware of for yourself, and what's in your highest good. So I will put a preview to the video at the end of this. Stay tuned for that. And then the link to that extended reading will be in the description box below. Also, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do. If this was able to shed any light on your situation, feel free to hit the like button because it helps the algorithm. And I will be releasing my no contact reading probably today or tomorrow. So make sure that you've tapped that bell so that you don't miss it. I'll speak to all of you again soon. Here comes the preview. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for the extended reading. So I have shuffled your deck. I've pulled your cards. This actually looks pretty good. As I'm looking into what this person feels for you, you got the Chariot. And so this person is feeling like you're leaving them behind, right? And they're very aware of the fact that you've separated your energy, or you're in the process of separating your energy. I think this is someone who, like I said, because they're so used to those really toxic connections, perhaps like with that Queen of Cups reversed, they had the idea that this would kind of just always be a thing. The way that it started between the two of you is how it would just always go, right? It wasn't ever going to turn into something else. Neither one of you were ever going to leave. Maybe you would take breaks, but come back, right? And so you really changed the narrative of this relationship with your behavior. I don't know if you realize that in setting that boundary and sticking to that, this person is seeing that something has to change, right? You have gone as far as you're going to go. And maybe you've expressed that to them, or maybe your behavior is just speaking volumes because they're viewing the situation as you getting away. They're watching you leave, right? They're seeing that you have a new level of commitment to yourself. Perhaps you expressed that you're ready for a connection or something more defined. And I think a big thing with your person is that they fear that you will find that, but that it won't be with them, right? Because the Fear Oracle card was the first to come out, followed by Lust.